Evening. The UK is on the verge of declaring a drought in some areas of the country as the prolonged dry spell shows no sign of easing. The first 6 months of this year were the driest in England since 1976, and some places have seen almost no rainfall at all during July. Well, that prompted an urgent meeting of the National Drought Group, which today discussed how to cope with the extreme conditions. It could see a drought plan introduced next month, meaning hosepipe bans for households and even farmers being restricted from watering their land. The National Farmers Union says the situation is very, very serious and could see crop failures and an increase in food costs. Rebecca Barry has more.
The east of England, like much of the UK, is parched. This farm in Norfolk feeling the effects of the extreme, hot, dry conditions.
I've been farming for, well, probably just over 30 years now, and I've never seen it so dry.
Ali's crops, cattle and sheep are suffering as the threat of a drought looms.
We have pumped already roughly double the amount of water that we put on last year. It's £100,000 worth of water. All of our winter pastures, as you can see around us, have not grown at all.
So there might not be enough to feed your livestock in the winter?
I'm afraid not, no.
This is the sharp end of the extreme weather. Our food supply is affected, which could push up prices in the shops even further. But the impact of a drought in the UK would be felt in almost every aspect of our lives. This morning, the National Drought Group met to discuss action. The recent heatwave follows the driest winter and spring since the 70s. Most of England is now in prolonged dry weather status. So the Environment Agency is asking people to cut their water usage. Things like taking short showers instead of a bath, reusing paddling pool water in the garden, or not washing your car.
This is the first stage of a drought. Now, there is no single definition of drought. And my advice is don't wait for it to happen. We are already in prolonged dry weather, and therefore we would already look to the public and the users of water to start taking action now.
One catastrophic side effect of such unprecedented heat: wildfires. Now fire chiefs are warning cities to prepare for more. In the heatwave of 1976, water was rationed with standpipes in the streets. We shouldn't see a repeat of that. But at one of England's biggest reservoirs in Cambridgeshire, water levels are low. If it gets worse, companies could decide to impose hosepipe bans. These gardeners prepared to make sacrifices.
I've got a small back garden. I can hear people hosing all the time. And I've overwatered my garden this summer, but I do think we need to be a bit more careful.
Absolutely, we do have to be, all of us, very responsible because a drought, it is on its way.
If you compare a satellite image of the UK at this time last year to now, the scarred earth spells out the need for action. Rebecca Barry, ITV News, Norfolk.